this old world can be a garden full of fragrance, full of grace. Yes, we love our neighbors truly, though we can't be face to face. It is said now, love thy neighbor, and we know well that is true. This the sum of human labor, true for me as well as you.
Thank you, Aaron. Is this on, Ed? Thank you, Aaron. Good morning. My name is Rick Honenberg, and I serve as president of the Unitarian Universalist Church Board of Trustees this year. Thank you for joining us via live stream this morning. We know these are very unusual circumstances, and we are in a time of uncertainty in our community and around the world. In cooperation with other churches and civic groups nationally and regionally, we have suspended all in-person church activities until the end of March, when our board will reassess the global situation and plan on our next steps. Our care for one another and for our community only becomes more important in times like these. Our ministry is expanding with many ways we can all help one another, comfort one another, and grow together even though we are physically apart. I encourage you to visit our website for all the ways you can join our work. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, any of our board members, or any of our staff. Our job is to serve you. We are glad that you have taken the time to connect with us this morning. Especially in times like this, we need each other. So let us begin this morning with gratitude that we will have one another and that we can use technology like this to connect with one another, even when distances are separate us. Thank you again for being a part of our congregation today. We are a congregation of faith and hope, and we welcome you.
Good morning. I want to thank you for joining us this morning, and I want to thank in particular here at the very start of the service the 9 people who are here in the sanctuary this morning, sitting very far apart in every corner of the room so that we are not physically near each other, making this service take place. And I want to reassure you that even if we have to move to even more distant measures, even if we arrive at a point at which we're not able to broadcast from the sanctuary because of the time in which we're living, there will be a way that we can gather together and worship together. We are in a time of anxiety. Yesterday, my wife and children and I sat down on our living room couch to talk once again, not for the first time, about the time that we're living in and what we need to do to take care of each other and to take care of the world. We talked about the things that we're worried about, the things that we fear, and also the things that we are hopeful for, the ways that we want to use this time to grow as people and as a family and to enjoy the goodness of life that is all around us, even in these circumstances. This is really hard. But when we face this reality together, we strengthen one another and offer one another clarity and purpose and hope, a peace that is deeper and stronger than our anxiety, a peace that is not only about composure and feeling better, but that is realistic and focused and that does something vital in the world. This is a community of freedom and peace and power. This is a community of service and beauty and love. This is a community of faith and hope. Every week, we gather for a purpose, to work together to make this world more livable for us all. We gather for that same purpose today. Welcome.
Words are from the poem September 1, 1939, by the English poet W.H. Auden. It was written in a bar in New York City as news broke of Germany's invasion of Poland to launch the Second World War. I sit, uncertain and afraid, as the clever hopes expire of a low, dishonest decade. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth, obsessing our private lives. The unmentionable odor of death offends the night. Into this neutral air where blind skyscrapers use their full height to proclaim the strength of collective man, each language pours its vain competitive excuse. But who can live for long in an euphoric dream? All I have is a voice to undo the folded lie, the romantic lie in the brain, and the lie of authority whose buildings grope the sky. No one exists alone. We must love one another or die. Defenseless under the night, our world in stupor lies. Yet, dotted everywhere, ironic points of light flash out wherever the just exchange their messages. May I, composed like them of eros and of dust, beleaguered by the same negation and despair, show an affirming flame.
We'll be singing All Will Be Well. This is, it's a dialogue between two women across space and time, between a contemporary songwriter and UU minister, Reverend Meg Barnhouse, who served this congregation just 1 decade ago, in conversation with the English mystic Julian of Norwich, who survived both plague in her childhood and debilitating illness in her early 30s to write in her book, Revelations of Divine Love. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand, and Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. She said, all will be well, and all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about sorrow? And Julian, do you not know about pain? I said, Julian, do you not know about hunger? And Julian, do you not know about shame? She said, all will be well, and all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about loneliness? And Julian, do you not know about disease? I said, Julian, do you not know about cruelty? I said, Julian, it's too much, it's brought me to my knees. She said, all will be well, and all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about sorrow, and no one does not know about pain. She said, no one does not know about hunger, and no one does not know about shame. She said, all will be well, and all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about loneliness, and no one does not know about disease. She said, no one does not know about cruelty. She said, I know it's too much, it's brought me to my knees, where I heard all will be well, and all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, baby girl, do you not know about tenderness? And baby girl, do you not know about friends? She said, baby girl, do you not know about the Spirit? She said, baby girl, do you not know it's only love that never ends? And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
We speak into the air words that seem ridiculous. How in the world could we say all will be well? And yet the person who has taught us to speak these same words is someone who has lived through much more than we ourselves have. We are a people of faith and hope. And this community has a covenant that we share together every week. Only words, but words informed by rich experience and by a commitment to live as our better selves every day, no matter the circumstances. I want to invite you, wherever you are as you listen, if you know this covenant, to join me in saying it. And if you do not know these words, to listen and to join us in your silence with your heart. Let us say together the covenant of this congregation. We are a people of faith and hope. Together we covenant to strive to become our better selves, to honor both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to respond to systems of violence and oppression with the power of a love beyond belief. This is the time in our service when we gather around a rippling bowl to place stones and shells in the water, indicating our meditations, our prayers, our joys and concerns. And although we are far apart, we observe this time together. We know that joys shared are multiplied, and sorrows shared are lessened. I want to invite you to spend a moment of silence together, offering to one another across this difference your joys and your concerns, our joys and our concerns, and sharing them with one another. Over the last several weeks, our time of greeting has moved to fist bumping, to elbow bumping, to bowing, to not seeing one another at all. We have drawn a distance, and that is the right thing for us to have done. We still care for each other. And this morning I received a message from someone on whom I rely a great deal for guidance, and who I would very much like to see in person but cannot. And they suggested that at the end of our time of joys and concerns, when we would normally greet one another, that we instead take a moment to send one another messages, texts, and emails to just connect once more with each other. And so at this time when we feel most acutely that we are not together, I want to invite you to pick up your device, to pick up your phone, or just to open your heart and to send your goodwill, your wishes, and your love to those who are far apart from you. Just a word, just an emoji, just a signal from the just to the just, greeting one another in the love of this congregation. As I share the meditation with you this morning, I want to invite you, if you feel so led, to look at our website, UUCS.org. Our staff has been diligently at work updating it for the purposes that we need to use it now. We are sharing the plate this month on behalf of the Minister's Discretionary Fund and Total Ministries to provide financial support to those who will certainly feel financial strain with the decline of our economy and the measures that we need to take to preserve public health. There is a button on the page that says Help. And if you click on that button, you will find many ways that you can share your gifts, financial and otherwise, including ways that you can share the plate. I want to encourage you to click on that button and to read the ways that you can engage. All of us have gifts, not all of which are financial, most of which actually are not, but to find a way to join in the effort to help one another through this time. Peace. The paradox of this moment is that the more we face our anxiety, the more we face the reality of what we are living and find our purpose in it, the more we will find reason to hope. In this situation, acting as if this could be as bad as healthcare leaders are signaling to us is what will make whatever comes less severe. I want to offer this meditation in praise of all who are serving on the front lines of this pandemic, the healthcare workers, the nurses and doctors and technicians and administrators, the food distribution workers, the sanitation workers, the public health and civil authorities, the statisticians and reporters, all who are trying to get us to pay attention and who are fighting on our behalf. The less we pay attention, the more we ask of them. Let us be mindful of their care for us, and let us act with the same wisdom and compassion that they are affording to us in abundance. Realism, purpose, hope. There is a mindset, a heart space, a peace within and between us that is real and not naive, that is active and not passive, that is deeper and stronger than our anxiety, and that can transform our anxiety into motivation and action. To create that peace within ourselves and in our relationships and in the world around us, we must face reality and find purpose. When we take those steps, when we face reality and find purpose, we become the hope that we are seeking. We offer the world our peace. I want to ask you to face reality. This is the teaching of our spiritual traditions, of our best stories and our oldest myths, of our wisest political philosophies, of the truly resilient stories that were told to us around the family dinner table. Fleeing from our fears only increases them. But when we turn to face that which frightens us, that which rightly causes us anxiety, when we turn to face it, we discover within ourselves the capacity to do just what is needed. This is the story of a young man named Siddhartha, who, terrified by the suffering of the world, went looking into the nature of human life. He stared into his own mortality and the fact of his impermanence, that his life was short and would not last. And when he looked deep into that reality, into the fact of his mortality and the inevitability of his impermanence, he awoke to a wisdom and compassion that has guided our world for more than 2 millennia since his life. That young man, Siddhartha, became an awakened one, a Buddha. And his simple teaching was that so could we all be. We have seen the graphs and the charts, the maps of virus transmission. We have read the reports, and we have heard stories from those who are on the front lines. This pandemic is real, and it is right for this situation to cause us anxiety. But we do not have to become lost in our fear. There is something bracing and empowering and emboldening about knowing what we are up against. When we gaze into the heart of reality, acknowledging and moving through all that rightly frightens and disturbs us, we find within ourselves purpose, the motivation to do something about it. Imagine doing a simulation where we could predict everything that is happening right now, but then choosing not to do anything about it. Imagine yelling at the very people trying to help us get the message out about what to do and how to help. Being controlled by our anxiety doesn't help. But facing reality and passing through our anxiety about it awakens us to a motivating and clarifying power, a power already within us: purpose. I want to ask you to face reality. And by facing reality, I want to encourage you to find purpose. I know a nurse, a man who has made it a life habit to stare into the heart of reality. He is a realist. And like those who have awakened before him, he acts with profound and everyday wisdom and compassion. He is a clear-sighted, generous, practical person. I asked how he was doing in the face of this epidemic. He is on the floor, the ground floor. He is the one putting on the suit. And he said, "This is why I do this work. This is why I decided to be a nurse." I want to ask you to find your purpose, the work that summons you now, the work of your life. And I want you to hear me clearly. Past achievements and past failures, age and status and income do not determine what your life purpose is. The question before each of us now is, how will I use the time before me? Teachers, parents, students, musicians, doctors, nurses, retirees, the wealthy, the poor, the indebted, the extrovert, the introvert, business owners, employees, those of us already being laid off, retirees, ministers, all of us face this same question. What is it time for us to do now? Find your purpose, the work of your heart. It is time to do it. And whatever our individual purpose is, whatever you discern you need to do with this time, all of us share also a collective purpose: to work as a team. We have heard it over and over and over again, and we have seen it ignored and ignored and ignored over and over again. We have to flatten the curve. We have to slow the spread of the epidemic so that our hospitals can handle the capacity of need. This will extend the length of time that we are in this, but it will help us all get through it together. We have to lessen the incident of infection each day in order to help our healthcare system handle the demands that it is going to face. Our job is to be a team. This doesn't mean not thinking, and it doesn't mean not questioning. Those are some of our very deepest values. But it does mean to listen to our teammates, to the doctors and the nurses, and all those putting themselves in danger for our sakes. Listen to the ones facing this pandemic with their lives when they walk into work every day. Stay home. Distance. Seek guidance. Don't get in fights at the grocery store. Keep washing your hands religiously. Connect with one another creatively and remotely. Give your best to our collective effort. This is real, and we're being asked to work together. The consequences of going our own way, of disregarding guidance and directives from the most trustworthy sources, the consequences are dire. We have a shared purpose: to work as a team. We see all too clearly the public consequences when we do not work as a team. Let us strive for what we know is better, and critically needed now. I want to ask you to face reality. And I want to ask you to find your purpose as individuals and as a team, a human team. And I want to show you hope. When we work as a team, clear about the reality we are facing, and empowered by our purpose, we ourselves become a source of hope. I have seen this in abundance this week, right here in this congregation, and I have sung its praises to everyone who would listen. Our covenant groups, our small group ministry, immediately began reaching out to one another, finding ways to connect with one another, learning technologies they had not used before, so that they can be in touch with each other and build one another up, to enjoy socializing with one another at a distance, and to know when one another have needs. Our pastoral care associates have begun calling everyone in the congregation on a progressive rotation, first to those with particular medical or home situations, those who, for whatever reason, are deemed perhaps to be most vulnerable, or who could just use a call. And then reaching out further, a tremendous work of organization and coordination, of which one of the greatest delights for me have been reading the reports back, stories about phone call and discoveries, things that people are doing to find their way through this, a wonderful small literature just within our own congregation about how we care for each other and how we are making it so far. Likewise, our Social Justice Council has reached out to our community partners to find ways that we can be of service, and to political leaders here in our own community so that they know that we stand by ready to serve. When we face our fears and anxiety and find purpose individually and as a team, we become the hope that we are seeking. And this is the reason why. It's not a nebulous hope. It's not an illusion. It's not a dream. When we work together with purpose, we become the hope we are seeking, because we begin to alter the reality that we are living. This is the genius of living in this world, the beauty of our radical interconnectedness. This is the joy and peace that our wisdom traditions are trying to offer us. When we engage with reality as it is and discover the power of our purpose, we participate in reshaping our reality. That's what flattening the curve means. It means that we are not just passive recipients of a virus that might or may not hit us, but that by listening to this guidance and working together, we affect the reality of what will come. It doesn't pretend that we have total control. It's very clear that we don't. But it is also very clear that our actions matter and that we shape the future. And that is hope. If we work as a team now, we can shape the real, lived experience of millions of our fellow citizens in this nation and billions of our siblings on this planet. Nobody knows what we are in for. But the brightest minds and the most committed hearts are insisting that we know our actions will affect what happens. If we avoid and deny our anxiety, if we talk over each other and yell at each other and fail to use our leadership to get the message out and clear, if we choose to ignore reality out of our own fear, we will only increase the problem. But if we face reality and engage it with purpose, we can help shape the future. That is realism, and that is purpose, and that affirmation of our radical interconnectedness, that affirmation of our power to act in support of the worth and dignity of every being, that summons to work as a team to reshape the reality we are living for the well-being of us all, that is hope. There is a peace that is possible, stronger and deeper than our anxiety, active, clear-sighted, committed, a realistic, purposeful peace. Let us find that peace within ourselves and with realism and purpose. Let us be the hope.
Again, some words from September 1, 1939, by W.H. Auden. I sit, uncertain and afraid, as the clever hopes expire of a low, dishonest decade. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth. No one exists alone. We must love one another or die. Defenseless under the night, our world in stupor lies. Yet dotted everywhere, ironic points of light flash out wherever the just exchange their messages. May I, composed like them, of eros and of dust, beleaguered by the same negation and despair, show an affirming flame.
We have spent time together, and these holy moments give us strength